Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, we're coming to you from Zolder in Belgium for round 9 of Sunday Night Lights, season 21. And I'm your host once again, Alex McKellar. And as always, I'm joined by the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, big night of racing ahead. A lot of the regulars passing us up for the F1, of course, which is on early tonight. But still, looking forward to some feisty action out there at Zolder.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And we do still to have two of our regulars here who are 7K I rating drivers in Manuel Luqueta and Sebastian Schultz. So we do still have some of our top rated drivers coming out saying, yeah, the Formula One's on, but we want to go race skippies and we are going to be ever the better for it. Still not a bad little field that we got constructed here. Quite a few names that we recognize: Enzo Cantor, Cristobal Otero, but quite a few guys that we haven't necessarily seen before, like Jay McCabe and Ashley Work in the field tonight, Alex.
Yeah, Jay McCabe is the representing ANZ, of course. Ash Work, great to see him back out there having a crack. 13 plated car tonight for the ANZ driver. Great to see him back out there. Love to see the ANZ go. Oh, Jason Willman's in as well. He's not out on track at the moment, but he's here for a race. He is one of the stalwarts of ANZ Skippy Racing. Up there with Kevin Henderson for the most Sunday and Monday Night Lights races ever done. The other one that's back out there on track is Mr. Guy Kawabe-san, back from a big week at Nords, hoping to get in the top 10 once again. Tragedy struck him last week, but great to see the spirit in the community. He and Lee Anderson had an exchange of messages encouraging each other based on the what this community is all about, which is great. No hard feelings at the end of it. Great to see Mr. Kawabe back out there. As you said, Corey, Enzo Cantor's in there, as is one P. Beatty, back for another run.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Paul goes here in this race. A little bit of a technical kind of aspect to this track, not one that I'm too familiar with driving around, but it's definitely up there in some of the more difficult kind of tracks, Alex.
Yeah, it is. You've got, as Beatty loops it on what I think, let me just see. Yeah, it's his opening quality lap, so he's got another one to go. Hopefully, he won't get black flagged. Luqueta still out there turning his laps. Who's going to, Mackenzie, I think, has just crossed the line for his first Sunday Night Lights qualifying lap. But yeah, you're right. A couple of big chicanes here. You've got to set up the car suspension right so you don't bend the front wing. A few things to take into account here, but otherwise a pretty fun track to get around.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, Alex. And I remember the last time we came here, it was one of the more memorable races because, as I said, it's a track that I'm unfamiliar with. So I was absolutely gripped in the action that we are getting seen. But at the moment, Manuel Luqueta just posting the fastest time in qualifying so far, a 1:45.549. Going pretty quick around here at the moment, Alex.
That's not a bad first lap, I've got to tell you. If he could duck into the 44s in quali, wow, that'll just show you why he's not only the number one plated car, but the number one skippy driver going round at the moment. We've got Garcia now. He's popped up to second after his opening lap. Cantor, that's Cantor done. That's his second lap binned. He's done for the night and starting, well, at the moment he's down in 15th if no one else qualifies. Beatty as well, gone. In the pits, Dunsky. Oh, the Team Milo driver, the sole Team Milo driver with the boss man taking the night off. Not doing his team proud. And similarly, Cantor, dare I say, Corey, that might be his championship done.
It very well might, Alex, but we never say never in this game. We've seen Enzo go from the back to the front before, and I think with us missing most of our regulars, we could probably see him work his way through the bottom portion of the field quite nicely. But once he starts getting to the top, it's going to start getting a little bit harder for him.
Yeah, you could be right there, Corey. You could be absolutely right. As we see Kawabe now, he's going to finish his second lap as he comes across. This time he's inside the top 10 in quali. What's he got for us? Where's he jumped to? Only up to P7. Still some work to do for Kawabe this time round. Matsushinsky now, he's out. But you're right, Corey. Seb Schultz, will the real Seb Schultz stand up? He has this week. The two-plated car is out there and out on pole. But you're right, Corey, as I was about to say, with this field somewhat depleted, Cantor now sitting down in 18th or 19th off the grid. Look for him to go as close as he can to that last to first challenge, Corey.
And we've, as I said, Alex, we have seen it happen before, and that was with our regulars. So with a bunch of people that we don't know here racing tonight, we don't know their skill levels. We can speculate that maybe we can see something good out of him, like Alex Herter in the 14 plate car, currently sitting P5 in qualifying, the Iberian driver, but he's 1.171 off of the leading time set by Sebastian Schultz, Alex.
Yeah, that's it. Of course, reminiscing of great drives. I'm thinking back to Simonson at Mosport, where I think he started last. I'm not going to say in the pits, but he drove through and won the thing. So it has been done with full fields, as you say. So be interesting to see what Cantor can do from P18 as it looks. As quality now ticks down, everyone's done their laps. We're just riding alongside Kalishnikov. Tell you what, there's a name. I bet he's at Garmin, Corey. Oh, that was terrible.
He very well could be.
That was terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. Worst dad joke ever as we see Willman now come out in the closing stages just to test out the pink wheels. As we click over at the end of quali, we might take a look at our grid for round 9 at Zolder for season 21 Sunday Night Lights. The real Sebastian Schultz has turned up. He's done a 1:45 dead, not in the 44s, but I tell you what, that's pretty fast around here. Manu Luqueta from Ivano Sim Racing out of P2 tonight, looking to lock in his championship tilt. Antonio Ribalta from Iberia back out of third off the grid tonight. Fourth is George Matsushinsky. Fifth tonight, Alex Herter, as you said. Corey from Iberia. Juan Garcia from Iberia in sixth. Ashley Work from ANZ leading. ANZ driver here tonight out of seventh. Daniel Blanco from Iberia out of eighth. Gail Kawabe from Japan, the Japanese driver out of ninth tonight. Great starting position for him. J. McCabe from ANZ in 10th. Gennady Kalishnikov, he's out of 11th tonight. Vasco Serovsky, oh man, out of 12th. As we go down the page a bit, 13th is Washington Luiz from Brazil. Cristobal Otero from across competition out of 14th. 15th, Sean McKenzie from ANZ. Nathan Verney from ANZ out of 16th. Paul Beatty for Team Milo out of 17th. Enzo Cantor from Ivano Sim Racing out of 18th. Jason Willman out of 19th as we get ready to go on the first of what will be 14 laps tonight. Corey, who's your money on?
It's going to be hard to put your money anywhere besides Lucetta or Schultz here, Alex. I mean, they're 7K rating drivers. They are a second or half a second faster than the rest of the field. It's their race to lose from here, honestly.
Yeah, it could well be. I think you're right. Depends on what sort of chaos ensues as the red lights do mean rev. And the green lights mean go, and we are away for the first of 14 laps as the drivers race down to turn 1. Grab third gear on the way through. Try not to spew out too far. There's a couple of changes of positions. Turn 3 wide in the midfield, but they all managed to get through, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it's a very angry mid pack at the moment. Still 2 wide, 3 wide in some places. Some people even trying to push for 4 wide. Close, hard, fast racing already. And, you know, oh, there's contact.
Whoa!
And that is Washington Lewis. who has absolutely flipped out of the stadium there, Alex.
He is currently visiting a parallel universe. Send flowers to the family, folks, because we ain't seeing Washington here again tonight. As the front of the field skips through the opening chicane through at turn 5 now into this very tricky turn 7 complex of a second chicane. Everyone seemingly getting through okay after Lewis departed us and the planet somewhat dramatic fashion earlier on. But it's Schultz now leading the way ahead of Luqueta and Ribalta. They're your top three, but still it's all the way down to Ashley Work in P8 before you run out of draft, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. So it's a nice little solid pack that we got going on here. In saying that, Seb Schultz and Manuel Luqueta starting to pull a little bit of a gap here on the third place Ribalta. And Ribalta is trying to drive the wheels off of that wagon, but he's just not quite got the pace of our 2 leaders right now, Alex.
Yeah, the gap's starting to open up there. It's about 0.86 of a second. Not long before it'll be a full second, and they'll be, oh, there's been some sort of heinous crime committed at turn 1. Blanco dropping down the order. I'm going to go and see if I can find a replay, Corey. Did you catch what happened?
I did not, Alex, but I am on the replay now. He was on the inside of the 11-plated car of Juan Roman, and looks like they've just had a little bit of a coming together. I'm not sure if one maybe cut the corner a little bit too close there, or Daniel pushed out a little bit, but that is big time flippage for the 10-plated monster liveried car of Daniel Blanco.
Yeah, he is exit stage right out of turn 1. Managed to land on the feet as other pieces of the car. Oh, I tell you what, he nearly hit the 11 car of Garcia on the way through. That was some sort of incident there, Corey.
Indeed, it was, Alex, and those drivers in real life would be lucky to walk away from that one. Such was the nature of that crash. But he'll tow to the pits. He'll get a fast repair. He'll come back out and see what he can do. As we also have the 19-plated car just coming out of the pits now too. There's Louise after his spectacular roll out of the dimension, Alex.
Yeah, meanwhile, back up front, great to see Lewis back out on track. But meanwhile, back up front, we have got now what is a pack of 3. Ribalta's managed to get on the back of these front 2 and is sticking with them. Matsushinsky now an absolute peril of missing out on that lead pack and having to settle for 4th. Hurte, followed by Work, are your top 6. We mentioned Workers is the leading ANZ driver and on for a great result by the looks, Corey.
Indeed, he is, Alex. And, the strength of the field being a little bit down and the drivers being a little bit different, it's definitely lending him to do well here. Only a 2.3K I rating driver. And this is definitely going to boost up not just his I rating, but his confidence if he can manage to hold on to that 6th position.
Yeah, 100%. As we jump back up front, close-up shot of Luqueta in second. For the Movano drive with a one-plated car, you see Ribalta pulling out of the draft, not really wanting to make a move now, looking hopefully to get away with his front 3 and not bring Matsushinsky back into it. Let's find the other Movano racer. We've got Enzo Cantor now. He's up 7 spots, making his way through the field into P11 now and looking to go further. Fascinating to see how the Italian Movano driver manages to progress through this field, Corey.
Yeah, especially with this not really being the easiest of tracks to make overtakes on. There are definitely a couple of big passing zones like this one right here, where Enzo's sneaking up the inside of the 12 car of McCabe. But looks like he's just struggling to get that move completed with that exit being a little bit of a chicane. And now he's going to be on the outside for the penultimate corner. And he's probably going to lose out on making that position work, Alex.
Oh, the crisscross didn't happen. I'll tell you what, it all started in the braking zone for that hairpin, and then he looked to do the over again. over and double under for Cantor. This time not working out. And I'll tell you what, it was great defence from McCabe, but Cantor will not be happy with that as he's now running around the outside of turn one on alongside of Garcia and just gets straight by him. As he continues to try and fight his way up through the field and fight, it absolutely looks like, as we see Rebelta now on the tail of Luqueta and Schultz. And this week, these three look to have it pretty much under control as they go through the first chicane. Grab a big bit of that second curb. They are mountainous here at that chicane, Corey. You can't afford to grab much of the left-hander on entry, but on the right-hander you can roll the dice a bit with the front wing and grab a bit more curb as that now coming through turn 7, or at least the 7 complex, exiting that second chicane, second to 3. And getting the job done nicely up front.
And it's just a nice, cool, calm, collected race here at the front. These three know that they have the pace to just pull away and dominate. So I reckon that they're going to be waiting for those final couple of laps before they start trying to make moves. But in saying that, Matusinski is not exactly falling off the tail of these guys here, Alex. He is outside of draft, but he is a long way in front of the fifth place car of Alex Hurte.
Yeah, he's about a tenth off pace last lap. So Matsushinsky not likely to bridge the gap unless these guys get a bit racy. But so far, these three pretty much happy to let Schultz lead him away. Luqueta's very patient, a very smart racer, and I don't see him jeopardising a finish at this stage. Quite happy to, as long as they're safe in where they are, no need to push the pace and cost them all time. Beautiful use of the track there through the second corner, second and third, setting themselves up for what is a very long, the longest straight back here. This is a fourth gear right-hander. Use every bit, kick up a bit of dust, not too much, or you'll get the incident point. But beautifully done into the longest straight, and one of the threshold braking zones that you can overtake. But I tell you what, that inside curbing on the left of that first part of the chicane is deadly. And as is the, if you grab too much of the second part on the right-hand apex, that will toss your car into next week. So whilst it is a very appetising looking overtaking opportunity, one of the most challenging spots to do it in iRacing, I'd say, Corey.
Yeah, indeed, it would be, Alex, and especially considering it is a chicane complex. So if you can't really get that move made quickly, then you're just going to be doing a lot of slowing down just to try and survive the rest of the chicane. And these guys, I'm sure they got enough race smarts about them that they won't allow that to happen too much. But we have been proven wrong before with some absolutely spectacular crashes in battles for the lead. And I hope these guys don't crash because this is going to be one of the most cakewalk victories for these three, as long as they can keep it all safe, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are dominating this race. Matushinsky now, he's falling off a bit. That last lap, a 45.6, about 2 to 3 tenths off the guys in front. So no threat at this stage. Jumping back to P6, Ashley Work running a really solid race. Up one position from where he started off the grid and doing the ANZ club proud. Kalishnikov now in a battle with Otero with Kawabe-san in P9 where he started. But looking down the barrel at that top 10 finish, we lost. I thought Kalishnikov might have tagged Otero there, but they've got away now. Is this the move we've been talking about? Kalishnikov, will he look or will he sit? He's sitting, which is bringing Kawabe back into it as Cantor makes a move on exit though, although it's Garcia's going to tuck him behind, is he? Yes. Cantor getting it done up that front straight. Garcia now's gone off. I wonder if I can grab a replay of that. He's gone off track. Let's see here. He's just here. It's exactly what I talked about, Corey. That second apex, and look at the air time he got from there, and that was it. The rear of the car went, and he's off in the grass. Lucky not to put it into a wall, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And I was watching that happen live while I was focused on Enzo, and the airtime he got was pretty fantastic. I don't think Skippies were designed to fly in that way. and hopefully he can get that thing recovered quickly and get back into a fight. But Enzo now has cracked the top 10, Alex, and he is absolutely flying towards Gilles Kawabe right now.
Yeah, he did a 46.3, couple of tenths quicker than Kawabe, but he's got nearly a 3 second gap to make up. And that battle with Otero, Kalishnikov, and Kawabe, as you say, Kawabe is well and truly in the draft. So, yeah, it'd be a real challenge for the Movano driver and Enzo Cantor to see if he can't bridge that gap and get a little bit further up that top 10, as you say. But meanwhile, back up front, we've got Seb Schultz, Lucetta, and Ribalta running away with it once again. Just that tick faster. No, they weren't actually. Matsushinsky, he clawed back at least 3/10 that lap, Corey. So, 1.6 seconds behind. He's still, as you say, he's not out of it.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And you know, it just takes small, tiny little mistakes by anyone in this leading pack to allow Machusinski to join them and make this a four-car battle for the lead. So the creamers rise to the crop, and we're getting our regulars up the front here. Also, Enzo took out 7/10 on Kawabe in the last lap, and that was with making a worldly overtake there. So, the pace is definitely on for the field right now, Alex. And it's going to be interesting to see how it's all going to unfold.
Yeah, Canada really trying to stamp his authority through the midfield. That nose looking a little bit second hand. Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the post race. Meanwhile, back up front, these three just driving away with it. Matsushinsky now, he's just driving away from the rest of them as well. I'm going to see. No, let's do. I'm just going to see if. There we go. He's gaining time. Lap 3, 4, 5. Lost a little bit. Oh no, gained in the last couple. It's the other way around. Sorry. So 4.5 tenths, nearly 5 tenths. He's gained on that lead pack in the last couple of laps, Corey. It might be full way before we know it.
Exactly, Alex. And, it all comes down to how these front guys are racing. It seems that Schultz has just not necessarily lost a little bit of pace, but it looks like maybe Machusinski has found a little bit of pace. But also, our leading trio here are starting to catch up to some lap traffic. Daniel Bianco just up the road there a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, not too far away. You can just see our leaders in the background there. So I might actually try and get them instead of the other back markers. As we see them come through that second chicane. Line astern once again. Matsushinsky now, what's he? He's 1.7. Looks like the front runners might have picked up the pace again, Corey.
They very well could have, Alex, and that air gap's definitely looking quite a bit bigger right now as we make our way through to the final sector of the lap. And these guys, I said, just nice, cool, calm, and collected. Notice Lucetta and Ribalta actually stepping out of the draft there because they don't want to try and force an overtake on Schultz just yet. Just trying to bide their time here, Alex, and wait for those last few laps.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're about halfway or a little over in this one as they cross the line at the end of lap 8, start of lap 9 on the home stretch, so to speak. And I'm just checking, Beatty's gone, Verney's still out there. Blanco, he's the last one on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. I know Verney's on there as well. But there's a few folks out there. Lewis is making his way back up after that big incident early on. Garcia, that's a spectacularly coloured car. Oh no, that's Willman in front of him, I think. Jason Willman. That is the hilarious car I've seen in a long time, Corey.
Indeed, it is. It's quite the interesting livery. We need more of it, honestly, and no, especially after Lee Anderson's Puce-powered machine. But a quick update on Enzo, Alex. He is within draft of Kawabe right now, looking like he's going to challenge for that 9th position here shortly.
Yeah, just riding on now. Let's pick a view where we might be able to see what Canada's doing here. Will he look up the inside of the second chicane? Oh, he's got to run. Nah, he backs out of it. Thinks better of it. I reckon it'll be... Oh, look at the apex speed. Bang! Cop that. Go faster through the corner, says Cantor. Get out of my way. He's on a charge. I don't think Kawabe will be sending him a Christmas card after that. But I tell you what, there was some speed differential there, Corey.
Yeah, I think Kawabe might actually have a little bit of an issue, Alex, because he actually lost the draft of Otero and Kalishnikov. So possibly Kawabe with previous damage that we don't know about. And Enzo, even though he does have that very obvious front end damage, it's definitely not slowing him down an ounce at the moment, Alex.
Nah, well, of course. Excuse me. Oh, my throat. If Kawabe didn't have damage before, he certainly does now after that one. But yeah, you're right. His lap before was about a second off pace. So perhaps picked up one of the sneaky slowdowns around the joint, and that led him into the clutches of the Italian Movano racer of Enzo Cantor. And I'll tell you what, that was pretty messy, but they got it done. Meanwhile, back up front, what do we got here? We've got these guys still line astern. This time we've got Luqueta making the move and making it stick, deciding with 4.5 to go that he's going to get on with it and maybe see if he can't defend rather than attack in the closing stages.
Well, sometimes, Alex, it is easier to defend than it is to attack. So I think this is a worldly move by Luqueta by taking the lead. And they've also done it in a way that hasn't lost them any time to Matushinsky. Saying that, Ribalta starting to fall off the back of these two a little bit here, Alex. And it's like he's starting to give a little bit of draft to Matushinsky there.
Yeah, it could be four-way before we know it still at this rate. But perhaps the other thing, 4 laps ago when they crossed the line this time round, but also coming up onto that lap traffic, potentially better to be in front than trailing and unsighted of what the lap car's going to do. So perhaps safety first from the heady Luqueta at this stage. And Schultz now thinking about, he's just going to tuck him behind. Very good passing opportunity into turn 1 with the right kind of people, but not this time round as Luqueta leads them through. 45.4 that time round, so these guys certainly kicking on, but a 45.2 for Matushinsky, and he's right up there with them, just not quite bridging that gap, Corey. Although 1.2, he's not far away.
No, indeed it's not, Alex, and that's probably because Ribalta a little bit closer to the back of Schultz than Matushinsky is to him, so Ribalta getting just that little bit of a better draft on the leading pair. Plus, he's got the double draft going on, whereas Matushinsky's only got realistically the single car draft. But another reason that it's probably better to lead right now, Alex, heading into lap traffic, is that you have the opportunity to use lap traffic as a bit of a pick and use them to block off a lane, essentially going into some of the corners. And that's something that NASCAR drivers traffic.
Sorry, folks, for the interruption to service. Lost connection there briefly, but we are back on the air. Sorry, Corey, I missed most of that. I heard NASCAR drivers and then the world stopped, so there must be something in that, I don't know. But Seb Schultz now tucked in behind Luqueta, still leading this one. Coming up on, I think it's Blanco that they'll be lapping this time round, if I am not mistaken. And yeah, it is. It's the 10 car of Blanco. But now it's Ribalta all over the back of Schultz, thinking, well, 3 laps ago, I should say, oh, look at that. He's right under the tailpipe, putting all sorts of pressure on Schultz, and that might be enough for Luqueta to get away. And Matushinsky, 1.6 this time round in terms of distance to P3 in Ribalta. His race might be done. It's Ribalta that's starting to put the pressure all over Schultz, Corey.
Yeah, indeed it is, Alex, and Luqueta starting to skip away with this one now, as he's actually just outside of draft range for Bianco at the moment, but that won't take much for him to get into it and get going. It's going to be interesting to see how these last couple of laps play out. Only 2.5 left in the balance here, Alex. Who do you have your money on?
I'm going to go with Lucetta. I think he's shown he's got the smarts to lead and win these kinds of big races. The move that he made 4 laps out, really, it's a smart one. In so much as any sort of the last 3 laps, the leader's going to be looking for it. In the last 4 laps, last 5 laps, they're still kind of working together. So it's a safe time to do it, and then you can just defend for your life as he comes up now on behind Blanco now. Question is, will the lap car get out of the way for the leaders? This is where you find out what the mindset is of the 10 car as the leaders now come through the final chicane. 2 to go. My money's on Lucetta. Who you got, Corey?
I also have my money on Lucetta, and it looks like Blanco moving well and truly out of the way to allow the leaders through, which is good on him. Good sportsmanship there. And the leader is going to continue to battle this out, but this could also provide a little bit of assistance to Machusinski, who will be able to pick up the draft off of Blanco now, Alex.
Yeah, we're on board now with Ribalta, who is taking a slightly wider line through 3 now, coming up to turn 4. Little touch on the grass, little lift, maybe a little jab on the brakes to get the thing rotated, and flat in 4th gear. Yeah, he's got the run. Is he going to use it? He pulls out of the draft. I don't think he's going to use it there. Yeah, it lifts and tucks back in. So not this time round. And perhaps later on. Oh, big jump there from Schultz off that curbing. And it's Lucetta now. He's 6/10 ahead. Is he 7/10 ahead? I think it's... Oh, here we go. Lap traffic. That's going to compromise. Oh, they've blown it. It's Lucetta. He's gone. That's it. Lucetta's gone. That lap car there was Lewis, and he's just brought the world down for Ribalta and Schultz there, I think, Corey.
Indeed, he has now, Alex. This is going to be a race for second. Ribalta looking for the move on the inside. Not going to get it done this time. Not even going to quite get the overtake. And Lucetta now just going to skip away with this race win, Alex. We're coming up to the white flag this time. The only way he can lose it from here is if he makes a terrible mistake.
Oh, I'm just watching. Oh, the contact behind as they kind of tried to let Matsushinsky through. He's through, but at what cost? I'll tell you what the cost is, though. It's nothing too high to pay for Lucetta as he's running away with it. You've got Ribalta and Schultz now fighting it out for P2 now as these guys, they'd be grinding their teeth over that run through the second chicane last lap. But speaking of last laps, we are on it. What's Ribalta got for Schultz this time round, Corey?
I'm expecting a move coming up here very shortly, Alex. He has been right on the gearbox of that 2-plated car this entire time. Looks like he's going to shape up the move here now. They pull side by side going into the corner. And Schultz defending nicely. Oh, almost contact there, nose to tail. But Ribalta still holding on to the third at the moment. But we could see another move here very shortly, Alex.
Oh, he'd want to have some big brakes to get it done there. But yeah, I did hear a little crunch. It sounded like there was some contact, but Schultz hanging on to second position. And it doesn't look like Ribalta's got the run to get it done at the hairpin. The question is, will he have a crack? Oh, immediately, Schultz has picked up a slowdown, surely, and Ribalta sails past. But can Schultz come back at him? Can he clear it and come back at him into the final chicane? Or is he going to fall into the clutches of Matushinsky? Meanwhile, Lucetta running away with it. What's going to happen? It's Ribalta taking the defensive line. Schultz now, no, he's no hope there. Hasn't even cleared it. He's under threat now from Matushinsky. But no, it is going to be Manu Lucetta. Lucetta's going to run away with it. Does the Mivano wiggle in honour of his teammate? It is Ribalta who's going to take second. Schultz, oh, he'd be kicking himself over the last 2 laps as he lets the engine go in frustration. Coming up next, we've got Otero ahead of Hurte, Kalishnikov and Cantor. Just getting by. Oh, Ashwork, he's dropped down a couple of positions at the end there, Corey. He was on for 6 for all money. And I'll have to go back and find out what happened to him, but that's devastating for young Ash Work, who was right up there for the longest time, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And just having a look at his Skip Barber right now, he's turned it into a Formula Ford, missing that rear wing. So a little bit of contact somewhere along one of the laps, and looks like that has brought Ashley Works' race completely undone. But he should still be proud of himself. He still got into the top 10 with the ninth position, which is no mean feat when it comes to top split skippy racing.
No, absolutely. I'm just trying to see Nathan Verney has had a minute at some point here in his debut. It said he's crashed, but I don't see the crash unless it comes afterwards. He tries to get out of the way. Oh, he gets out of the way and then grabs a bit of the old grass. I'm just trying to see if I can't find. Nah, it's buried too deep. I can't find it there. But anyway, let's go take a look at our race results while the folks do their cool down laps. Let's find it. There we go. Please. Oh, hang on. Let's just do result. Let's do it that way. All right. Round 9 from Zolder, Sunday Night Lights. We had Manu Luqueta running away with it in the end. He, for Movano Sim Racing, 3-second lead at the end. It made a strong tactical move, made it stick, and then ran away with it. Antonio Ribalta, his first podium, if I'm not mistaken, in P2 here tonight, just ahead of Sebastian Schultz, the original. He's grabbed P3 after a disastrous run through the last couple of laps. He led most of them, and then it all just fell away from him at the end. Still, a podium, nothing to sneeze at. George Matsushinsky hung on for fourth and really put the guys in front of him under pressure in that last lap. Cristobal Otero from across competition in fifth tonight. Alex Hurt from Iberia in sixth. Gennady Kalishnikov joining us for the first time tonight, finishing in seventh. Enzo Cantor made it all the way up to P8, which put him up, up 10 spots. So decent drive for Enzo. We'll have a chat to him, no doubt, in a minute. Ash Work, the leading ANZ driver, in P9 tonight after sitting in sixth for so long. It's just a shame. I wish I could find what happened to Ash. Maybe we'll have a chat to him during the week. Jay McCabe from ANZ also in P10 tonight. Guy Kawabe, similarly after that incident, after dropping a second and then falling into the clutches of Canada and having that incident, he missed out the Japanese driver on his top 10, which he was gunning for, finishing in 11th, but still in the Sunday Night Lights points. Juan Garcia from Iberia rounding out those points in P12. Jason Willman, great to see Jason in the top split, the ANZ Skippy Stalwart in P13 tonight. Vasco Sorovsky from ANZ Club as well in 14th. Sean McKenzie from ANZ in 15th. Daniel Blanco, one of a few who had incidents from Iberia, in 16th. Washington Lewis, lucky to be on the same planet. He's from Brazil and he's in 17th tonight. Nathan Verney from ANZ in 18th. And have we got any more? Yeah, P. Beatty. He's our only retirement. He packed up stumps and went and finished in 19th, the Team Milo driver, Corey.
Yeah, he went out pretty early actually. It was when we were watching one of the comeback through the fields at the back. Uh, he was involved in a rather big incident in turn one, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully, he'll be able to recover from what happened. I'm just trying to see if I can see what happened to Ashley Works' wing, because just going through the last 5 laps and seeing if I can find out what happened to him, Alex.
Yeah, I can't I couldn't spot it, but maybe I'll have a play around later and see what I can find. Anyway, time to have a chat. It's that time again, folks. It's time for one Enzo Cantor. Enzo, welcome to the booth. Not the race you were looking for after qualification didn't go your way. A couple of bumps and bruises along the way, but up 10 positions into 8th. Tell us about your race, Enzo.
Hi guys. Well, I'm not completely happy as you could imagine today. In the warm-up race, me and Manu did the first and the second time in qualifying. So we started together, and we went away from the group, and we dominated the race, because well, this track is very tricky. You could damage your car, and is very useless to battle in the first laps with cold tires. You can only lose so much time. So in the previous race, we maximize the fact that we were teammates, and we go away, while the other were battling each other. In the next one, I completely missed the qualifying off track in the first lap, lost control in the second. So I knew that could be very difficult to race the field and finish in the top five. Unfortunately, Juan Ramon Belo Garcia um, hit me in the last chicane, and I lost a little bit of time again with Gil Kawabe, and I lost the chance to reach the fifth position, because I also damaged the car after these contacts, and because I was trying to push too much, and I jumped over the curbs too much. So I used the lowest setup in this track. This is dangerous because you can damage the car, but if you do the right lines, you don't damage the car and you go faster. So I chose this setup, but well, I was pushing so much hard, and some people, in my opinion, have to learn that sometimes it's very useless to fight with a driver that has a 1.5 second faster pace. You can only crash.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way it goes. You know, people are off watching the Formula One, and a bit light on the field tonight. So you get those different looks. They don't necessarily know who the quick guys are. And as you say, sometimes it's better to let a fast guy through and see if you can tag along, get yourself up the field a bit. But you know what? That's sometimes how it goes, Enzo. It emphasises the importance of qualification again, doesn't it? Particularly at this kind of
Yeah.
track, right?
Yeah. What happened in the race is only my fault, because if I would not miss the qualifying, I would start in the first three positions, and nothing would happen. So first of all, my fault. Then again, some people have to learn to race more smart, because if you fight with another driver very much faster, you can only lose time or crash the car. So it's very um, smarter to let him pass and stay in the draft in order to race the field.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, Enzo, well, hopefully a couple of weeks to go, we might see you with some better results. But is there anyone you'd like to shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Yes, as always, to my team, Mivano Sim Racing Team, my team manager Fabio Mantellini, all my teammates, Manu, Big Breaks Lucchetta, Marcello Pagnan, you, as always, for your awesome work. And I'm fighting now for the second place of the championship, I think. So I have to look around me to what Lee Anderson and Pablo Espes will do in the next week. So I have to push. I have still to push in order to defend the second place.
Yeah, that's right. A Movano 1-2, that'd be something, wouldn't it? But as you say, Big Breaks, he's got it stitched up this season, I think. And then it's all about can Movano get that 1-2? Only time will tell. But thanks for joining us again, Enzo. Great to talk to you as always, and we look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks.
Thank you for the interview and for the lovely words you always says about me, you and Corey. So
Thanks, Enzo.
see ya in the next weeks.
Thanks, Enzo. There you go, Corey. Enzo Cantor, once again, always good value after the race. And there is a balance between racing as someone's coming through the field or with those around you, particularly when you don't know the folks around you and how they go. Sometimes, racing is part of the fun as well. Other times in the big ones, you just want to race smart and do what you can and get around. At the end of the day, the fastest way is the best way in terms of results, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And going back to making my way through the field, it seems that Enzo's reputation actually precedes him a little bit. I was having a scroll through the driver chat, and Kawabe posted in there that Enzo's name scared him, and he was too slowed down. He apologized to Enzo. It was after Enzo already left the session, so there's a little bit of a funny in that. But going back to your point, it can be so difficult driving around people that you don't know. You know, when you're driving against people who are here every week doing the top split racing that we put on, you get used to the way everyone drives and the way everyone acts and reacts to the way that you drive. And the unknown of having so many people in here that aren't regulars but might run skippies often. It's hard for someone of Enzo's caliber to pick his way through the field confidently. And that probably was one of the bigger reasons why he didn't do so well tonight. But in saying that, Alex, he made 10 positions after starting 18th, which is still no mean feat at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, with some adventures along the way, it's not a bad night out, really. But yeah, Kawabe-san, he's got a bit spooked, and we could see it live, couldn't we? The difference in his speed. But anyway, folks, that's racing, and that's the way it goes tonight. But that might do us tonight. Corey, tell the folks at home what you got coming up this week.
So we're going to be doing some variety streaming on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Wednesday, I might not be able to get a stream in. I'll see what I can do. Um, and then it is Speedway on Saturday night. Unfortunately, this week's Speedway got rained out, so I'll be at the Speedway at the Perth Motorplex for the Speedway memes on Saturday night for the what would have been last night's race. And then it's back here with you next Sunday, Alex.
Beautiful. Speaking of back here next week, all things top split are on your screen at the moment. This and every other race, of course, up on the Top Split YouTube channel. The Discord, as you see on your screen, is where you can find us for the broadcast and the post-race interviews if you'd like to join us. Otherwise, it's Top Split TV, and of course, Corey has no live 13. I don't know what the other 12 did, mate, but 13's lucky for some, as they say. But until next time, folks, I've been your host, Alex McKellar, and on behalf of Corey Steinhauser, I wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us, and say ciao for now.